Hi guys, Simon Palmer here from meetsimonpalmer.com. Here I am in the conservatory on the south coast of England. A bit of garden, been raining today, so we're inside today. Blissipline, are you living with Blissipline? Last week I was talking about trying to find total inner peace. And the way to do it was, as I was explaining, was to be able to. You can't get rid of your past, but you don't want to live in your past. You need to let it go. You need to, whatever hang-ups, whatever's been before, you need to let it go, because there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. What you can do is work in the present, and one of the best ways to find total inner peace is to forgive what's gone before. And of course there's been some awful things that can happen to people, and you're not forgiving the person that's done the things. You're forgiving what's happened to you, because it gives you the peace of mind that you need. Anyway, moving on from forgiveness, you can. It's the first step. Hi, Clive. How are you doing? It's the first step to achieving Blissipline. So, people tend to underestimate the value of happiness, and you with Blissipline, you actually consciously put yourself in a position, in a state of perpetual bliss, if you like, or happiness. We all know that optimists, as far as salesmen are concerned, optimists will outsell pessimists, and the studies that have been done on that sort of stuff have come up with optimists will be 56% better at selling than pessimists. But there was another interesting thing about this with experiment with doctors. And make a doctor happy, his diagnosis is 19% faster. So the time taken to get to a diagnosis is 19% faster. And do you know how they put the doctors in a state of happiness for that experiment? Give them a lollipop. So all you need to do is give a doctor a lollipop. He'll feel happier, and he'll come to his diagnosis 19% faster than he would have done previously. So I mean that's a bit weird, but it's what they did. That's the study. So what you need to consider is that there's three different types of bliss. There's instant bliss, the sort of thing, I don't know, when you get an instant win. It doesn't need to be a big win, but bigger the better. But an instant win, that sort of instant bliss. You can take a pill or drugs to get some instant bliss. Not always recommended, but that's Prozac. Prozac is used to give you sort of instant bliss and make you feel better, happy. So some of it's prescription medicine, some of it not. Then there's meaning. Meaning gives you bliss and happiness. So the sort of things which you might not necessarily be enjoying them, but they give you happiness. The sort of thing like, I don't know, being a parent of a young child. You still have to clean their nappy, you still have to clear up their mess, you still have to discipline them when they misbehave and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of the things that you're doing you might not really enjoy at the time, but you know that you're doing a great thing, and it makes you feel happy. It's like having a rubbish job. I don't know, maybe one example that was explained to me was working for the UN with refugees, and it was hard job, hard work, and an awful job in some respects, but it was a good job. It was humanity plus, so it was doing something decent for the world, so that can make you feel happy as well. And the other sort of happiness you can get, this bliss, is awakening. And a lot of people on a spiritual path and I suppose I consider myself to be on one of those at the moment. When you're on a spiritual path and you start asking questions and you do exercises and rituals and things like that, and that gives you happiness, knowing that you're growing. Some people will go on, I haven't yet, but some people will go on a, I don't know, 12-day meditation course and listen to their breath for 12 days. But sometimes you get the same sort of feeling from going on a diet, losing some weight, or even fasting. You get the sort of endorphins feeling of happiness. But with all these things, and I've spoken before about goal setting, and if you're setting goals, then they need to be end goals rather than means goals. So you need to be thinking about experiences, growth and contribution. That's where you should start fixing your goals. And you can compare that to the instant bliss being the experience, the awakening is part of the growth, and the meaning, when you're doing something with meaning, that's your contribution. And you get this, what's called hedonic adaptation, which big couple of words, but essentially it means a happiness set point. You find that people, I don't know, let's for the sake of example just choose winning the lottery. You win the lottery and you have a massive win, and obviously you're really happy and that's fantastic. But when you think about what happens a year later, you've probably got over the elation and have just settled back down into your normal level of happiness. And it's the same after tragedies. I don't know, maybe if an example would be someone who's lost a limb, and obviously it is a tragedy and it's awful to get over it, but maybe a year or two later your happiness levels go back to where they were. So that's your set point. And the way to raise your set point so that you can live your life more happily, there's two different ways. So appreciation is one, which is essentially it's like gratitude, giving gratitude. My mate Brittany was just broadcasting from Alabama and getting soaking wet feet walking around too close to the water. Very, very funny. But she was talking about gratitude and giving gratitude and asking how many people who gives gratitude every day. And if you start doing that, that in turn makes you feel happier. When you're happy with what you've got, when you appreciate what you've got, then you feel happier. And you start to attract more to you as well. And the other way, there's appreciation, and the other way is variety. For example, if you're used to taking a shower, but you want to, maybe in your new house you get a bath, and it's all very exciting to start with, to be able to have a bath where you haven't been able to have one for ages, but then you get used to it and you go back to your set point. It's like kids with new toys, exciting to start with, and then you go back to the set point. I suppose it's like getting a new car, really exciting, but then a few months later, it's just you're just driving still. So very, very similar. And the way you change that is by having a little bit of variety. So maybe it's listening to different music or using different bath salts in your bath. But that's the way you can raise that set point to keep you happier. So that's the way to hack your happiness. And when you can start controlling your own happiness and putting yourself in a happier position, then you can move on and you start to achieve this inner peace. But apart from anything else, you feel a lot better. So give it a go. Thanks for listening. If you catch this replay, please share and comment. That'd be really kind. Also, if you want to see some more of my videos, exciting news to come actually, webinar coming next week. Very exciting, working on that at the moment. But if you want to see some more of my videos, go and have a look at meetsimonpalmer.com/videos. So thanks for listening, and I will catch you all on the next one.